Good morning. Are we ready to begin the Zoning Commission public hearing?
We are ready.
All right. Can you do roll call, please?
Good morning. Sherry Padlick.
Present?
Christopher Cameron.
Present.
Claudia Mendoza.
Present.
Sam Caliendo.
Present.
Lori Vinacourt.
Here.
Allison Thomas. Angela Josman.
Here.
Susan Kennedy. James Williams.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, please stand for the invocation and the pledge.
Lord, we ask your guidance today as we consider matters that will affect the safety and welfare of many people in our county. Help us to listen with open minds to matters that are important before us and to act on the matters that will benefit those who reside in our area. Keep our minds open and alert, our hearts compassionate, and our comments charitable. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Zoning Commission of Palm Beach County has convened at 9 a.m. in the Vista Center, Ken Rogers Hearing Room, Jog Road, West Palm Beach, Florida, to consider proposed applications and staff recommendations pursuant to and other actions the Palm Beach County Unified Land Development Code. The Commission takes final action regarding Class B conditional uses, subdivision variances, and Type 2 variances, and issues advisory recommendations on other requests. The Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County will conduct a public hearing at 301 North Olive Avenue, West Palm Beach, Florida, in the Jane M. Thompson Memorial Chambers, 6th floor, at 9:30 a.m. on applications not subject to Zoning Commission final action. Zoning hearings are quasi-judicial in nature and must be conducted to afford all parties due process. The Board of County Commissioners has adopted procedures for conduct of quasi-judicial hearings to govern the conduct of such proceedings. The procedures include the following. Any communication with commissioners which occurs outside the public hearing must be fully disclosed at the hearing. Applicants and persons attending the hearing may question commissioners regarding their disclosures. Such questions shall be limited solely to the disclosures made at the hearing or the written communications made a part of the record at the hearing. Any person representing a group or organization must provide documentation that the person representing the group has the actual authority to do so regarding the matter before the commission. Any person who wishes to speak at the hearing will be sworn in and may be subject to cross-examination. The applicant and county staff may cross-examine. Any persons attending the hearing may submit cross-examination questions, including follow-up questions, to the chair who will conduct the examination. The scope of cross-examination is limited to the facts alleged by the witness in relation to the application. Public comment is encouraged, and all relevant information should be presented to the commission in order for that a fair and appropriate decision can be made. Do we have proof of publication?
We do.
Motion to receive and file.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
County Attorney, if you would swear in anyone, please.
Everyone wishing to speak on today's items, please rise and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? Thanks.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for March?
Motion to approve the minutes for March.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Agenda approval. Do we have any adds or deletes?
We do have modifications to the agenda. Starting with item number 5, ZB 2025-2051, John's PUD. We have a modification on the assessment. Staff is in support. An amendment to all petition number 5. And the addition of some correspondence that we have received. Item number 6, PDD 2025-1102, Walmart Neighborhood Market. The application summary correction to acreage and square footage. Modification to Exhibit C for engineering condition number 2. And then there was an attachment which I mentioned for item number 5.
And I request to pull items from consent. Anyone have any items they want to pull? There is no consent, so never mind.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Do we have any conflicts or recusals? I will start with Commissioner Jones.
None.
None. None.
None.
None.
And I have none. No. For the record, I'd like to notice that Commissioner Thomas has arrived.
Do you have any conflicts or recusals?
I do not, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We have postponements.
Yes, we have 2 items on postponement. PDD CAZV 2025-00293 Park West North, and item number 2 ZCAZV 2025-300 Park West Commerce South. Both have requested a postponement to June 4th. Due to the timing of the request, no motion is necessary.
Thank you. And since there's no consent, we don't need to go through any of that, correct?
Nope.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So, regular agenda. Do I need to ask for disclosures now? Yes. Okay. Do I have any disclosures on the regular agenda?
I don't have any. None.
None. Are we taking each one individually, or is the entire agenda?
Each one individually. So
Okay.
this is for number 2.
Number 3.
I'm sorry.
Number 3, I have no disclosures.
No disclosures.
None.
None.
And I have none either. Okay.
Item number 3 is DOA 2024-00254, which is named 934 Pike LLC. The request before the board is a development order amendment modifying the conditional overlay zone. We can turn it over to the applicant for a presentation.
Good morning, Commissioners. Aaron Taylor, representing the property owner. This will be pretty brief and quick recap, and I'll let the county staff step in with anything additional. So as she said, this is application DOA 2024-2025 for Pike Road. This is an industrially zoned property that has a repair and maintenance heavy use on it, which is a permitted by right use. When I originally requested the DOA application, there was some decision made on whether they were going to support the modification for the wall to the north and to the east, because there's a place of worship, use to the north, and it wraps around to the east. But since that time in 2025, a new use has come in. There's a rezoning that has taken place and a future land use amendment that has taken place, which has made my DOA request more possible, because now those uses are compatible. So I'm just going to go through that briefly. Do I need to point it at the screen? Okay, thank you. The subject site is 1.91 acres. It's zoned IL with a future land use of IND, and as mentioned, it's a repair and maintenance heavy use that exists. The DOA request is for previous resolution 2015-1731. The DOA request number 1, as mentioned, was to remove the requirement for the concrete wall. The previous use that was approved on this property was for a contractor storage yard and wholesale gas. That use was abandoned before this property owner bought it, but the conditions of approval from that approval actually carried forward to the land. So when this property owner purchased the land, the conditions of approval that ran with the land he inherited. And the goal was to remove the 8-foot concrete wall, but everything else was to remain. And that's the north, the east, and the south. That was the original request. DOA request number 2 was to modify engineering condition. The requirement for the 5-foot sidewalk along Pike Road is not something we're trying to remove. We're just trying to tie it to any future building permit that he wants to pull, that at the time he pulls that permit, he also has to install the sidewalk at that time. Mitigating circumstances, once again, as mentioned, the property immediately to the north was a place of worship. That use was abandoned in 2025, and they also received a rezoning and a future land use amendment, making the zoning designation and land use amendment or land use designation for both that property to the north and the subject property, 934 Pike Road, now consistent. I referenced the resolution numbers on there for the record. Paving Lady is the contractor storage yard and warehouse use that is going to replace the church. So now you understand why these uses are consistent. Before it was industrial to a incompatible use, which is the place of worship, institutional future land use, and now they will both be industrial uses with an industrial future land use and an industrial zoning designation, and therefore only having to comply with Article 7 when it comes to buffer requirements and concrete wall height. This is a support letter from the property owner to the south from the Cuban American Club saying that they had no issues with, even though they're not directly affected because they're on the south side of the property line, there is a portion of the wall that we're requesting to also be lowered to 6 feet. But we just wanted to show this as evidence that they were supportive and had no issues with our DOA request. In conclusion, the approval of the DOA request is compatible with the proposed intent of the comp plan because the future land use and the zoning are compatible, and the ULDC. Approval of the DOA request will not have any negative impacts on the surrounding area. By approving the DOA request or recommending it to move forward to the BCC for approval, it actually just makes this site able to do what every other industrial site can do along Pike Road and in Belvedere. And the last, the DOA is consistent with other IL zoning properties in the area. So I will open it up to anyone if they have any questions about the request.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
I just had one. Can you just
Yes, ma'am.
explain the sidewalk? That was my only concern, and you addressed it, but I want to understand. So there's no sidewalk there now, but if they get a secondary permit, they will need to put the sidewalk in?
Yes, so, and it's pretty consistent with a lot of development orders where they're required to put a sidewalk in front of the property in the right-of-way. It was a land development condition that was put on during the previous. So if this is 934 Pike Road, the goal is that as the properties along Pike Road get developed, you'll have a continuous pedestrian pathway all the way from Pike Road through Belvedere. Well, there is none to the north, no sidewalk to the north, and there's no sidewalk to the south as of yet. So although we understand the need, we're just asking if we can tie that to when they get ready to build another habitable structure and install it at that time, rather than now when it may get torn up, you know, with large trucks and things coming to the site between that time and future construction.
Okay, understood. And is there any need for staff to give a presentation, or is everybody good? You do want to? I'm
I
sorry.
just want to provide some additional clarification on the applicant's request. So, condition number, let me restart. The applicant is operating a use on the property, though it is permitted by right. It is operating illegally. So they will have to get building permits. There is a condition of approval that requires them to cease the use until they actually get their appropriate permits, including landscaping, conversion of the use for the structure, parking and paving and so forth, and the installation of the wall along the south property line. So they will have to do that, which will trigger the sidewalk, because before they're supposed to be utilizing the property, they have to comply with code. So those are in place. We are in support of the modification for the north and the east for removal of the wall, as Aaron had stated, but not on the south property line. And then we are going to be working with Aaron on the engineering condition for timing. Currently, we have it in the condition of approval for building permit or a date certain. So we want to keep those in place at this time. So
Okay.
Question. So, Wendy, and a motion then you would tie in that they obtain a building permit.
it's part of the conditions of
It's
approval.
part of the condition already. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Any more discussion? No? Do I have a motion?
I'll motion to recommend approval of item 3A.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 4.
Yeah.
DOA 2025-01483 is called Sandalfoot Square. The request before the board is a modification to a previously approved multiple use plan development. They're going to be adding additional square footage and a building on 32.18 acres. we can turn it over to the applicant for a presentation on that one as well.
Do we need to do disclosures, Wendy?
Yes.
All right. Any disclosures?
None.
None. I spoke to, this is for item 4, Sandalfoot Square.
Correct.
Yes.
4.
Lauren McClellan.
No disclosures.
None.
None.
And I have none.
Hi. Oh, sorry. Alex Aaronholtz at J. Morton Planning and Landscape Architecture, representing the applicant. So this is a DOA to the Sandalfoot Square MUPD. And it's just a DOA today to add an 5,731 square foot restaurant and retail outparcel building. The Sandalfoot Square MUPD was approved in 1980 on the northeast corner of State Road 7 and Southwest 18th Street. It's about a quarter-mile north of the Broward County line, West Boca. So my next slide is going to kind of zoom in on our affected area, which is just along the southern portion of the plaza. So the south frontage along Southwest 18th Street includes an existing right-in, right-out driveway. And then there's a mix of automotive repair and retail, office, restaurant, a laundromat, a ton of uses. And as you can see in the aerial, the affected portion is a parking lot that's underutilized and as the MUPD is significantly overparked. So our proposal is to add an outparcel calling Building J. The total building area for the MUPD is going to be increased to 292,595 square feet, which requires 836 parking spaces. And we're, after Building J, we're still providing 914 parking spaces, which is 78 extra. So Building J will comprise of restaurant and retail uses. Both restaurants will have some outdoor seating. And we're keeping the existing access point and the existing circulation of through the parking lot to the other uses. So along 18th Street today, it's kind of barren because back in the 80s, the county expanded the roadway and added a turn lane, which eliminated the entire right-of-way buffer along this portion. So with this application, we're required to add back in that 20-foot right-of-way buffer to construct the building. And it will be a one-story building that's compatible in height and setbacks to the adjacent out parcels to the east and west. So as part of the development order amendment, we're required to meet all 8 standards. As referenced in the staff report, we're meeting all 8. And so staff is recommending approval with conditions. The applicant's in agreement with all the conditions. Respectfully request that you recommend approval to the BCC. So that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
We don't have anything in addition.
Okay. Any questions?
I just have one question.
Sure.
I see at the time of publication there was no public correspondence. Has there been any since?
We talked to the Boca West Alliance, or whatever they're called, I forget, I'm blanking. And then we sent letters out to the condo residents that live to the immediate south.
Okay.
We didn't hear back from them.
Yeah, the letter from that West Boca Community Councils was included, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to know if any of the neighbors had any issues.
Yeah,
So-
since we share the parking lot with the out parcel to the immediate east, we've been working with them, and they signed off on kind of how the
great.
parking would be broken down.
Thank you.
A motion to recommend approval of item 4A.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second.
Just want to be sure we don't have any comment cards, right?
No,
No,
there's none.
no. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion passes.
Okay. Item number 5 is ZV 2025-2051 for the Johns PUD. The request before the board is a Type 2 variance to allow the elimination of the 25-foot Type 2 incompatible buffer specifically for Pod H and allow it to be relocated off-site. So I can turn it over to the applicant for a presentation.
And do we want to do disclosures before you do that?
Yes.
I have none.
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 None. You may proceed.
Good morning, Madam Whoa, that was very loud. Good morning, Madam Chair. For the record, my name is Kevin Rattery, Vice President with GL Homes. I'm here this morning concerning a variance related to the Johns PUD. It's technically a Type 2 variance to allow the elimination, and I'm going to key in on that word, elimination, for purposes of this conversation, of a 25-foot Type 2 incompatibility buffer on the north and east side of a Palm Beach County retention lake. So the Johns PUD has been approved. It is actively under construction. It was a relatively large PUD consisting of two primary parcels, a parcel on the west side of Lyons Road, south of Olympic Heights High School, which we call Johns West, going through the approval. As you can see on the aerial, it is under active construction under community name of Lotus Edge. On the east side, we had a bifurcated piece of property, which we called Johns East, which was approved for 322 townhomes. It's the Johns East property that I'm here on this morning. And if you can look at the bottom left corner, the southwest corner, you see a site that's labeled Palm Beach County Retention Lake, and that is part and parcel of the variance that's before you this morning. So this is the approved site plan and master plan for the Johns East property, and if you see the area in red, because that was the perimeter of the PUD, we are required to have a perimeter PUD buffer around the Palm Beach County retention lake. This is a shot from somebody crazily standing right in the middle of Jog Road, looking to the northeast, and this is the retention pond owned by the county that provides drainage retention for Jog Road. As you can see, it's relatively sparse, not a lot of landscaping there, but good news, there is a reptile expo coming up relatively soon, as you can see by the sign. This is looking towards the turnpike. You can see some of the towers that are built along the turnpike over on the left-hand side, and the power lines. And again, what that lake is for, it's a retention pond. It's owned by Palm Beach County. And so the idea that we are putting forth, which your staff is recommending approval for, is to take what would be our perimeter buffer and relocate it to what would be the west and south side of the Palm Beach County retention pond. By doing that, we can amenitize some of the townhomes that we're building by having lake frontage without a buffer sitting between them, but also, and more importantly, kind of improve the aesthetics of that existing lake. To do that, we have to enter into an agreement with Palm Beach County because Palm Beach County owns the property. And as part of that maintenance agreement, we are required to install certain landscaping. We are required to maintain the lake. We are putting in littoral plantings that are needed for that lake. And so that obligation will be passed on to our future homeowners association to maintain that area. So again, the area that is boxed in red would be what would be the code required perimeter landscape buffer for the PUD. And what you're seeing in the purple and the green is we are effectively relocating that buffer to go around and wrap that retention pond of Palm Beach County. It's GL, so if you're familiar with our developments, we spend a lot of time and effort on our landscaping. This is the cross section in the buffer, but I'm going to show you it in picture. This is kind of an important graphic to understand the quantities of material. Oh yeah, wow, how about that? Now the pointer works. So in this column, you can see the required quantity of landscaping per the code for our perimeter landscape buffer. 28 canopy trees, this is the south side, 28 canopy trees, 17 palms, 129 shrubs, 259 small shrubs. And over here, you can see that we are substantially increasing the quantity of material in both the south buffer and the west buffer. Basically, over 2 times on the south buffer, 3 times on the canopy trees in the west buffer, and 1.8 times on the pines. I always like to say a pretty picture. So again, I'm going back to This is the existing configuration. This is what you see today when you're driving along the road. And this is what you would see on the proposal that's before you. Now, what you'll notice right here is a gap, and that's there for a reason, because that is the maintenance access to this site to be able to get interior to it, which we are required to maintain. So the Board of County Commissioners have to approve the maintenance agreement. It's under review at the County Attorney's Office and County Engineering. The latest we've heard from County Engineering is they anticipate that going to the BCC in July. So there's two scenarios that play out. The first scenario is the board approves the maintenance agreement, and subject to your approval of the variance this morning, we would be obligated to install this as the new perimeter buffer. The other option is that the board declines to approve that maintenance agreement, in which case we would revert back to installing the code-required perimeter buffer around our project as we were required to do initially. So I think we've tried to cover all the different scenarios that are available, but to us, this is a much better option because it does aesthetically improve with some significant landscaping, an area which is under landscaped. It allows for our homes to then have a little bit more of that view of the retention pond, and we are installing some palm trees on the backside of our community as well. As you know, there are 7 criteria for a variance approval. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but as staff has indicated in the staff report, we meet all of those standards. And here with any questions you may have.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You're in the one view, you have a fence that's going around the property. How tall is that fence?
It's a 6-foot chain link vinyl fence. There's an existing fence that's there. There are some places where we're going to have to probably go in and replace that fence, and there are some areas where we can utilize the fence. It's really going to be once we get out there and get a feel for how sturdy that thing is in the ground, but it is a chain link fence.
You know, in your visual, it shows that it's kind of an aluminum fence and not a chain link fence. At least it doesn't look chain link.
Yeah,
it's okay. I don't have my glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Can you explain a little more about the maintenance plan that you have?
So it's going to be in the form of 2 documents. The first is the maintenance agreement that goes before the Board of County Commissioners. In that document, our homeowners, GL Homes is required to design, permit, and install the landscaping, and we are required to maintain that landscaping until we do a turnover of the community to the future HOA. That future HOA is then responsible for continuing the maintenance of that area. So logically, a question will be, well, what would happen if the HOA suddenly decides that they don't want to maintain it anymore? And then the maintenance agreement stipulates that not only do they have to install the perimeter buffer around where it's code required, but also that the landscaping be removed. So we've tried to cover the scenarios of what happens if. Long story short, one way or the other, the HOA's got to maintain a perimeter buffer. So to us, it was better to put it on the perimeter and kind of beautify the area a little bit. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to be sure that it's not that the county will be responsible for that.
No, ma'am. And I said there were two provisions. The second provision is by condition of approval. We have to include, I know Wendy's over there texting, Captain, why didn't you? There's the second provision, which is in condition of approval, we have to have our declaration of covenant stipulate the maintenance of that area by the HOA.
Thank you so much.
Did you have anything to add, Wendy?
Nothing more to add.
Okay. Any more questions?
Motion to adopt the resolution approving item 5A.
I'll second the motion. Oh, you can second it. Go ahead.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That brings us to item number 6, PDD 2025-1102, the Walmart Neighborhood Market. The request before the board is an official zoning map amendment to rezone the property to the multiple use plan development district. I will turn it over to the applicant.
Okay. Before you start, let me just check on disclosures.
None.
None.
I spoke to Bradley Miller.
No disclosures.
None.
None.
And I have none. Thank you,
Good
Bradley.
morning, zoning commissioners. For the record, my name is Bradley Miller. I'm a land planner with Urban Design Studio here in West Palm Beach and representing the property owner and the applicant here for this project, which is at the northeast corner of Military Trail and Coconut Lane. This is an existing shopping center. It's got a Walmart neighborhood store in it, which is the big box to the northeast corner, and then a retail building that has various uses in it at the northwest corner. And you can see that the southwest corner is undeveloped, and that's primarily what we're talking about today. This is just for surrounding. We have the Oak Run community that's to the east. To the north there, the cleared site used to be an auto salvage place, which is now getting cleaned up, which is nice to see. Colony Preserve across the road, and then Hampton Lakes and Coconut Pine Estates on the south side of Coconut. There's at the southeast corner, there was formerly a CVS store that's they're not there anymore. So we are, as part of our application, going from rezoning the property from CG to a multiple use plan development, and I'll explain that here in a little bit of the why. So it's going from commercial to commercial. It's just a plan development that has a little more control over it, and by code, we're really asked to rezone it to the MUPD. It's a little over 8 acres. As I mentioned, it's already zoned CG with commercial high land use, shopping center use. We are within the West Boynton Community Plan, or COBRA's area, and we have had conversations with COBRA, and in fact, we're meeting with them again next week. So what we're doing, the vacant out parcel there at the southwest corner is approved for a bank and drive-through. It's been approved as that since 2010. Obviously, no one has stepped up to the plate to do that bank. If you guys are anything like me, I would much rather be sitting in my T-shirt and gym shorts at home doing my banking, which we can do now. So we've noticed as a whole, those seem to be slowing down a little bit. So the owner has asked us to come in and change that use to that corner from the bank to another retail building similar to what we have in the northwest corner. And in doing so, it increases the square footage. We go from the 49,255 square feet. This is the current approved site plan, and it's parcel D that we're talking about. When we make that change, there's the bank layout. So it's a bank building, 2,900 square feet with 3 drive-throughs and a bypass. So square footage-wise, it's lower. The area that it's actually taking up on the property, including the drive-through lanes, is essentially the same, but it's a square footage thing that we're talking about today. So when we do the retail, we're adding in 6,900 square feet. It takes us over 50,000 square feet, and by code, once you go over that 50,000 square foot threshold, the code wants you to rezone to a multiple use plan development. So we're doing that for the whole property, but nothing changes except what's going on this corner. All the landscape buffers are the same. The existing parking within the shopping center now, driveways, are the same. There are some improvements to be proposed at this driveway here that leads out to Coconut Lane. It was originally approved and designed to be a right-in, right-out situation. And through our application process, we had to go take counts, and actually we took counts, and the county also took counts of what's happening with the trips, and found out that people are ignoring the right in, right out, and they're making lefts. So we're adding some improvement to that to restrict that movement because of the traffic situation on Coconut Lane. So if you do want to go to the west, there is another driveway to the east over here. So it's a safety situation. Out of the application process, that was probably our biggest controversy, if you will. We worked very diligently with the traffic division and the Quasi's group, and reached that agreement. So eventually, with the construction, it would look like this. It's going to essentially be the same building in style and in character. The parking is there. The drives are there. The other grass space there is existing drainage, which is remaining the same as well. So that will be a drainage system. And there it is from our site plan standpoint. This slide is actually showing the traffic situation. There is a slight increase. If you do the math there, the daily trips is 392, which is actually sounds like a lot, but it's actually very little once you do the math over a 24-hour period. PM or AM peak hour is like one more trip for every 4 minutes. So it's not a big addition as well. And then the PM peak is about one every 2 minutes additional trip that's leading out into the roadway system. And there are multiple access points. There's one on Military Trail. There's the two on Coconut Lane. So those get dispersed throughout the project and throughout the day. Just quick architecturally, although the rendering at the bottom right is our proposed building, the concept is it's hard to match up a Google Maps photo to the architectural rendering, but the concept is to use the same color and materials as what's existing out there. So it'd essentially be twin buildings out along the frontage of Military Trail. The technical part, all of the standards, we do comply with that. The staff report confirms that, and the staff report is also confirming that we're complying with all the criteria. They're in support of the application. There are a couple of conditions, like I mentioned, that the improvement to that driveway, we're in agreement with all of the conditions, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question. Okay. Can a freestanding emergency department be placed there?
It could. We'd have to go back through this process to get that approved. We're asking for retail to go there, so it would be a different use, so we would have to come back and go through that process. But there's no intent of that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Wendy, did you need to?
Yeah, I don't think it would have to.
There's
come
somebody
back.
with a. Did you fill out a comment card?
Speak at this meeting, or do we have to wait till the next one?
You were supposed to fill out a comment card. Have you filled out a comment card?
No, ma'am, I didn't know that.
Can we help these folks fill out a comment card and submit something, please?
I believe the freestanding emergency department is considered a medical office, so it would be allowed administratively on this site, unless they wanted to do it 24/7, and we'd have to double check its proximity to residential. So if it was within 250 feet, they would need a waiver. But the use alone, if it met those, would be administrative.
Okay.
I stand corrected. Never challenge Wendy on the code. But again, Ms. Vinacore, Dr. Vinacore, no intent there at all.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. While we're waiting for those, are there any other comments, questions?
None.
No, we're waiting, obviously, so, okay. Let's just wait for the...
If I could have some time after they speak to respond to any.
Of course.
Thank you.
If they want, they can come forward and finish filling out the card afterwards.
Okay. If you'd like to just come up and speak and then finish the card later, that's fine, if you'd like to do that. If you want to come right up now and speak and finish the card when you're done speaking, that would be fine.
He has to be sworn in.
Yes.
Were they sworn, or?
I don't know if they were sworn. They were here, but I don't know if they were sworn.
Were you gentlemen, were you people sworn in?
Anybody that wants to speak?
Okay, so I'll do it again. Anybody wanting to speak, please stand. If any of them want to speak. Just you? Okay. Would you mind raising your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
Just state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes when you begin.
Name is Jeff Smart, 12670 Oak Run Court, Boynton Beach. I live adjacent to the Walmart there that they're projecting, building on. The couple questions that I have is, since Walmart built the property, they have agreed to maintain the landscaping and all that around there, and they have not done a very good job of that. Originally, before they wanted to build a gas station, they weren't able to build the gas station because we fought against that, and now they want to build another retail site. There's a lot of traffic in that area, and this is going to cause more traffic, and if they've done the statistics on the traffic that's at that light, they'll find that there's quite a few wrecks that are at that light. So my bottom line is that I'm not sure why they think they need another retail center there amongst all of us residential communities in that area. Seems to me like right now that they have enough with the Walmart and the other retail additions. Seems like right now that they have enough retail sites there that they need. So I don't know why they need to build another retail site amongst all the other communities that are residential communities in the area. And the traffic situation is really, really bad at that corner. And that entrance he was talking about is very dangerous, and he is correct. Nobody abides by that entrance in and out of there. So if you do approve it, the thing they could do is get rid of that entrance, because that is nothing but dangerous at that site. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then, yes, when you're done, just finish the card and hand it in.
He wants to reply.
Yep. Come on up. Come back up. No, Brett Miller.
Yeah, I think I've addressed in my presentation the information there. I might ask Quasi to speak on the traffic situation. We, of course, like all applications, have prepared and processed a traffic study that go along with this. We actually went for a couple of months working with the traffic engineering department to come up with this, make sure everything was being improved on from how it's being used today at that driveway.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I was going to ask the question on the traffic. Could you speak to the concerns?
Good morning. This is Quasi from the Traffic Division. The applicant has analyzed Coconut Boulevard and the intersection of Coconut and Military Trail, and it meets our adopted level of service. It's operating, with that adopted level of service.
Okay. I will open it up, but I had one more question, Bradley, for you. The comment about the maintenance on the property, is that something that has been not maintained per code, or?
We've gotten a couple of comments on that, and we've looked into code enforcement action. Years past, there's been some things, but there's nothing ongoing that we're aware of right now. I will certainly take that back to my client, who's not here today, but we'll certainly take that back. Ultimately, Walmart is a tenant of his, so it really comes down to his responsibility to enforce the maintenance and of landscaping in the overall property. So I will certainly make him aware of the comments.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments?
I have a question. So the resident addressed the issue about the exit lane the right-hand turns, the left-hand turns. And during your presentation, you stated something to the fact that you were aware of that issue and that you're working on a design to address that. Could you be more specific about that?
Sure. There's actually a condition of approval. Maybe, can we go back to mine? It's given it in the traffic world, they give it a fond name of a pork chop design, where it's a little kind of a upside down T, if you will, that channelizes the traffic to go from the project out onto Coconut Lane, forces them to go to the right, and then the same way coming into the property to the right. And so the county, the right-of-way department typically doesn't like a raised curb out there because people run into it, but instead we're actually putting in these delineators, the plastic delineators that are out there that you see commonly along the roadway. So you can kind of see the little dashed lines right here. So that will be, I don't know if that's the actual final configuration, but it'll be an improvement right there with those delineators to force people in that direction. And closing the driveway off was just going to force it kind of forces traffic to be into two driveway locations and more traffic at those. Quasi, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's better, in my opinion, to have it more dispersed amongst the three driveways as people are coming in and coming out of the shopping center. I think the delineators will control that much better. Right now, it's just striping that we're all guilty of driving over the striping.
All right, thank you.
Or at least I am. I don't want to imply that on anybody else.
Any other comments? Yes.
I have a question. Can we go back to the landscaping, please? When you referenced the property now, Walmart is to take care of the landscaping on the entire property or just specific toward?
Actually, it was a resident that mentioned that. It's honestly, I'm not aware what the lease agreement says with Walmart. That might be in there, but I know from a experience with code enforcement, it's not a tenant's responsibility from a code enforcement standpoint. So it always comes back to the owner, and the owner is my client. So I will talk to them and make sure that gets brought up. But again, we're not aware of any code enforcement actions. After today, we might find that out much more quickly. But yeah, we'll address that.
Okay, thank you.
I was just going to say we'll have our landscaping staff go out there and look at the current plat and who is required to maintain the landscape buffers. So.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, may I make a motion to approve item number 6A?
I'll second.
All right. I have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, that ends our regular agenda. Do we have any comments from the county attorney, planning director, zoning director, executive director?
None from me.
I'm just thanking Darren for stepping in. Scott Stone is no longer with the county. He's moved on, and just want to appreciate Darren Leiser for stepping in and helping the department with both planning and zoning related duties. So thank you.
Thank you.
No additional comments?
No? Okay. All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? We do have cards that were handed in, so we want to put those in for the record. They did not wish to speak, but let's...
Right. There are 3 comment cards we received that were in opposition. One states that they do not wish to speak. 2 state that the other doesn't. So Sophia Retuta.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Second? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, motion, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
plenty of time.
I know, that was
I couldn't believe this once.
So we could wish everybody a happy Easter. When was Passover?
Passover
Is it this week? Okay.
There are a lot more people who got
I know.
sending code enforcement out to go after the Jews of the circle. Happy Passover. Good Pesach.